Okay, this is a really important video and I want you to share it with everybody you know. One of the reasons that I say all cops are bad is because they took an oath to protect and defend and uphold the Constitution of the United States and all the laws of the states. Many of those laws are in direct contrast and in violation to the Constitution. Let me give you 3 specific reasons why I'm against down home domestic terrorism under the thin blue line flag. Number 1, there's this euphemism that they use called the war on drugs. And it's really a war on people, and it gives cops the justification to put their foot in the door to violate your right to be secure in your person. Number 2, they got this legalized armed harassment, which is, they call it traffic law. That's another thing that they use to justify their intervention into your life. And the third thing, and there are way more, I'm just going to pick 3 things, is legalized armed robbery, which they call civil asset forfeiture. So there's all these euphemisms that they use so that they can kind of take the sharp edge off of what the truth actually is. And anytime they run a propaganda campaign like this is coming from the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office under Sheriff Chuck Wright. Anytime they run a propaganda campaign like this right here, where they're attempting to humanize the badge, why would you try to humanize the badge? Why would you feel like it's necessary to humanize the badge, where they got them in uniform right here and then in plain clothes right here? And I just want to draw your attention to the fact that they're smiling in plain clothes, but they have serious faces when they have their uniforms on, because they don the mantle of tyrant, of domestic terrorist. They know it. You know it. Even people who lick their boots knows it if they just come to their senses and understand and acknowledge what the truth is. But, truth is treason in the empire of lies, and people like to coddle themselves in those lies. But look what they wrote. They said, "We are just like you." Yes, you are just like us. But when you're in that uniform, you act completely different than us. Like, you have privileges and rights that none of the rest of us have. Like, you can speed down the road. You can have tinted windows. You can drive down the road without a seatbelt. But if we do, you can run through red lights. But if we do what you did, then you pull us over and you economically terrorize us at gunpoint. Says we have names, we have hobbies, we have dreams, we wear a uniform, but we are people too. We work hard and we want to come back home. And I'm so glad that they said this, because the number 1 goal of every cop, and we've seen this time and time again, even in training videos, is your number 1 objective is to get home safe to your family. You know what their number 1 objective should be? It's to look out for your rights. To not trample your rights, but to protect your rights at all costs. But they don't do that because their number 1 objective is to make it home safe. We aren't that different, me and you. No, you have blood coursing through your veins like we do. You have a heart beating in your chest like we do. But you guys took an oath to trample our rights, and we took no such oath. We are just like you. What I like about this is that quite a few people in the comments section know what's actually going on. This guy right here says, "I'm not like you cops, the largest human trafficking organization in the world. Because of you enforcing SHIT laws, you are responsible for the USA having 25% of the world's prison population and also having 30% of the world's women's prison population. You are a disgrace to our society. We are not like you." And even though I didn't see this mentioned in this comment section, it should be noted that police departments all across the country generate an annual windfall of over $6.2 to $6.8 billion a year just in speeding tickets. That's over 112,000 tickets issued every single day. It's like it comes down to about $11,500 every minute of every single day in the United States of America, which is supposed to be the land of the free, home of the brave, when it's really, thanks to cops, land of the fee, home of the slave. And of course, you got a lot of people saying, "Love it. Thanks for your service." This person says, What specifically are you thanking each one of them for, and how do you even know each one of them are worthy of thanks? See, propaganda campaigns like this cause people to drift away from critical thinking and solidify themselves in cognitive dissonance. Jay here says, you're right. You are just like us, but you don't see us like that. In your mind, you're better and have separate laws. That's obvious to all of us. And it truly is. What I like about this is when people are thumbsing, even when somebody makes a comment like, love it, thanks for your service, you can hover over this right here and you can see that people, 48 out of the 58 likes here are laughing and mocking that response. Because that is a childlike, childish, immature response that's detached from reality. This person says, for doing a protecting and serving their community. A lot of people laughing at that one too. This person says, are you thanking them for committing highway robbery? And then leaves a link to this Reason article that specifically highlights the Spartanburg County, South Carolina Police Department, or the Sheriff's Department. It says, South Carolina cops and courts rigged the game against drivers. An uneven playing field allows the aggressive tactics and legal loopholes that turn traffic stops into cash grabs. And it's a very interesting article that specifically highlights the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office and their evil practice of economic terrorism under traffic law. Justin here says, yeah, we understand that y'all are just like us and we get that. But some of you guys, when you put that badge on, you act like you're above people and you don't have to follow the law or can do whatever you want when you want. And that's just the end of the story. How about treat people a little better and not like you're above them because you have a badge on? A lot of people liking that post. April says, I pray for you all to come home safe daily. Thank you for keeping us safe. And there's a lot of people mocking that comment. Great post. This average ordinary person is thankful to know you guys and gals step out of your ordinary lives to then risk it for me. I wonder if she would think that if she lived in Uvalde. May you all be safe every single time you put that badge on, and may you always return to your families. You are appreciated by a lot of us. Yeah, a lot of people mocking that comment too. But let me show you what makes especially sheriff's departments extremely evil. Do you remember this? This is the National Sheriff's Association memo to Dan Crenshaw to tell him to stop with HR 1525, which would severely limit civil asset forfeiture, which we should actually call legalized armed robbery. But I want to read you the first 2 or 3 paragraphs of this and show you that it is absolutely riddled with lies. This sheriff said, this is from Sheriff Jim Skinner, and he says over 3,086 sheriffs have signed on to this. That's almost every single sheriff representing every single deputy in America. There's only 3,144 counties and 3,086 sheriffs signed on to this, no doubt including Sheriff Chuck Wright from the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office. Check out this first lie. Despite the fact that they are killing hundreds of Americans daily, HR 1525, or the FAIR Act, would largely dismantle a crucial tool in the fight against the Mexican drug cartels: federal civil asset forfeiture. That is federal legalized armed robbery of people who never have been and never will be a part of a Mexican drug cartel. For example, HR 1525 would repeal equitable sharing, which is the cornerstone of state and local participation in joint operations. That's joint operations against Mr. and Miss America with federal law enforcement, especially on task forces such as HIDTA. On behalf of the nation's 3,086 sheriffs, the National Sheriff's Association therefore asks you to vote against HR 1525. Now watch this. You want to get deep in the weeds of BS as they beg Dan Crenshaw, please don't pass HR 1525 because, man, we need to be able to rip off Americans and claim that we're saving them from the Mexican drug cartels. Especially after 9/11, the public rightly demands. So this sheriff has the gall, and these sheriffs have the gall to speak on behalf of every American? The public rightly demands more federal, state, and local cooperation, not less. You think the general man and woman who just wants to be left alone wants more federal and state police cooperation against them? Because that's what happens. When they increase the coffers of the state rises up against innocent people, saying that they're here to protect those innocent people. It's, what is it? The safety of the people will always be the alibi of tyrants. Well, this is a tyrant, and he's trying to use this as his alibi. Nonetheless, H.R. 1525 would repeal equitable sharing, the cornerstone of some of the most successful joint operations against the drug cartels. No, it's the most successful operations against Joe Schmo American. Repealing equitable sharing will not promote civil rights, vindicate the Fifth Amendment, or protect property owners. Yes, it would. If you take away civil asset forfeiture, you're actually protecting property owners like Stephen Lara, who was pulled over by the Nevada Highway Patrol and had $87,000 in cash stolen from him, his entire life savings. So yes, repealing civil asset forfeiture under H.R. 1525 would protect property owners. This sheriff is lying. But it would be a big victory for drug lords and other organized crime. And then check this out. H.R. 1525 would increase the government's burden that property was subject to forfeiture or that it had a substantial connection to crime from a preponderance of the evidence standard to a clear and convincing evidence standard. You mean to tell me we need to come up with clear and convincing evidence to prove and substantiate why we stole Stephen Lara's $87,000 of hard-earned money? You want to increase the government's burden of proof? This right here, this letter from Sheriff Jim Skinner, it's signed by him right here. Check this out. Sheriff Jim Skinner, representing 3,000, almost 3,100 sheriffs across the nation. This right here proves they want to continue to enact legalized armed robbery against every single American whenever they want. So when you come at me with this idea of, hey, let's humanize the badge, I ain't buying your propaganda. And neither should you. And if you got a problem with this video, I want to hear it in the comments section. Do you support humanizing the badge, or do you think we should just hold these goons accountable? Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comments section below. If you want to grab a shirt, this is the brand new one. Trump Fauci, give us another shot. The link will be in the description and in the pinned comment. That is if they don't delete my pinned comment again. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. And for goodness sakes, stand for your rights before they're all gone. I'll see you in the next video.